What is up guys, Rerolling here with a new video, and today we got a new update. So let's have a look at all the beautiful features. First of all, of course, we got a Ramskate expansion. Ramskate was finally expanded from 120 maximum to 140 maximum, and you can actually go to the higher stages now. I actually already unlocked 121. If you look through the game today and you had 120 unlocked before, it should be said that you have to clear one boss to go to 121. So if you are at this position, for example, you would have to go to the end of the stage here, clear the boss, and once you change to the next stage while clearing the boss at the highest world corruption, you will actually unlock 121. I already did that. Actually did a recording of this video before, didn't quite like it. So here we are back again. That's why you don't get to see that, thought I'd let you know. But now let's switch to 121 and actually see how that looks, because I really like it. This animation, guys. This animation is really great. I love it. Actually love it. And so what's so special about 121? Well, obviously you get more loot. The loot is actually a little bit higher. If we have a look here, same enemies as before, nothing special in that regard. For 120 you got 328 wood and 328 iron ingot, and now at 121 you get 333 of each. So quite an upgrade, a little bit more, and considering this is only the first stage of 20 that we can go up, it's quite decent and nice to see that we get some new stages as well. Well, another thing that is new, those enemies do no longer follow the base PvE rule. Base PvE rule means usually your heroes attack first and then the enemy in PvE. This is no longer the case here, as is in most newer PvE modes. Those enemies actually have speed, which means, like, if you remember, there was a strategy with 10-star armorers to fight the puppets. This will no longer work because those puppets will outspeed the armorers and of course kill them. You can of course use E5 armorers for the same sake, and this will work for most of them. So now let's have a look at the enemies, see if they got any stronger. And I have already seen that, and I have to say, not quite that much of a jump between 120 and 121. Which kind of surprised me, because I thought that we might see a bigger jump there, like we saw in SLs and other game modes and like Purgatory and everything. But considering this is a newer game mode, kind of alright, I guess. I think for a new player this can be kind of confusing if you go into game mode like SL, for example, and you could clear SL20 easily, and then you face SL21 and suddenly everything is insanely strong. This is kind of weird, and I kind of like that this is now not the case, and you can go up there and the only thing you will notice is that those enemies now have speed. And if you have a slow hero that like isn't before, our team's kind of fast, so we don't really see the speed difference at this point. But in the later stages the speed of the enemies will of course increase, and this will likely mean that we have to look out and have to maybe use other strategies. As was the same with like Dominator and other newer PvE game modes. Some strategies that worked before don't really cut it, like turn 1 Starring Jara is now a little bit more difficult, as the heroes you energy feed her with, for example, will likely be slower. You can't use rogues like I do. In this team it still works, but give it like 10 stages and this will mean that the armorers or the carries, swipers or something along that line. So will be quite interesting to see how this develops in the next days, because today of course we can only see 121 and it will take us like 20 days or so to get to 140, but it will be interesting to see which teams we can use there, or which teams will be viable. I guess this team will still do quite alright, but this is mostly because of the power of two 3-5 A-tier heroes with Giant Killer. Well, the Mockman actually doesn't have Giant Killer yet, but in like 7 hours I think my Starry Gem more resets and then we will see it. One more thing I would like to show you guys is this one. Like, you know, those mysterious caverns, and those changed as well, and I thought this was quite interesting. I saw it on a screenshot and we will actually check this out, because now it actually requires awakened heroes. So this has actually become a requirement that you put an awakened hero inside here. And this is kind of weird, I have to say. It's a little bit weird to see this cavern with an awakened hero. E-, of course, is like no requirement at all, but I could imagine that there are some higher requirements as well. And I wonder if they put like A tier or something here. Would be kind of weird. And like, I don't know, like E-, that's basically nothing, like have one awakened hero. Let's have a look at the same mine if we change that down to 120. This is kind of interesting. So if we change that down, actually it becomes just a 10 star and the same loot. And I think it was the same, 5,750 and 2,875. And if we look at it at 121, let's see. It actually changed. Is that a bug? Did we just discover a bug? It added the E, but it lost the abyss. Wait, that is actually now a live discovery here, guys. Can we re-roll those by changing the void corruption? That would be lit. That would be very lit. Let's check this out. So now we are back at this. Okay, we got one in once, and now let's see if we can get more loot out of this. Let's see if we can get more loot out of this. It stays at E-. It stays at E-. Let me try a few more times. I will stop the video and we will... So that's now back at 120. Actually, wanted to show you this roll. And we added one more loot back to it at 120, which is completely weird. And we no longer need the E-. Now we just need a 10-star ranger to fulfill those requirements. Okay, guys, I think we kind of showed that you can reroll the requirements and the loot for Mysterious Cavern by switching between 120 and 121. Live discovery here, guys. Didn't even know that, but I'm super happy that we found that out. So take this with you. A little bit of a trick. I think it's likely a bug and will be fixed in the future, but reroll your rewards. I think you can get double or triple. I stick with double, but you shouldn't use like a single added loot. If you can reroll it, just reroll until you get something nice. And another thing I want to show you guys is actually a screenshot my guildmate High Five sent me of the buffs that you can get. Because if you have a look, those idle ruins actually give you a buff. I don't have quite enough stamina to get there, but he sent me a screenshot and we will now take a look at that. So this is actually the screenshot of the screen with the buffs that you can get if you enter one of those idle ruins, and they changed that. What they did was they basically took the base buff, which was like, if we take a look at it, frontline heroes gain a 10% all damage reduction buff, or at the end of each round, all of the heroes gain a 6% damage bonus. This was actually a regular buff you could get in those idle ruins, but now if you are in 121 or higher, there is actually an added effect to it. The effect to increase all damage dealt differs based on the highest awakened tier of deployed heroes, and this means the higher your heroes are, the higher the buff is that you can get. And I really don't like that, to be honest. I mean, like, it's cool if you have like an S tier hero, then it's 10% all damage dealt every round, which is insane and an insane buff. And of course that's cool, but I would have loved to see that the other way around. Like, if you have only a D+ hero, then get a bigger effect and have an easier time in Void Corruption 121 or higher. And if you have like an ST hero, then you don't need as much and get a lower buff, only to compensate a little bit for the RNG of copies in this game mode. I think they should not be overvalued for game modes like this, and it's honestly, if you have an ST hero, you already have enough buffs. You have like 4 awakening stats. You can have like Defier, Giant Killer, crit damage, holy damage, and absolutely destroy everything anyway. So a little bit of compensation here for people with lower tier copies would have been nice. But I guess this is the way DH goes with it, and I think we can deal with it, even though I would have loved it the other way around. Interesting though, some of those buffs are really strong. all damage reduction, having like 30% all damage reduction as S tier or 20% or something, is actually quite a lot. It's not really a small amount, so those buffs will have a much bigger impact on the game now, because like most people have like a C tier copy at least. If you have like a B tier copy, it's 20%. 20% is really a lot, and is already 100% bigger buff than used to be. And this is the same for nearly all of those. Here it is a little bit smaller buff, like 33%. But for some of those, this is really an insane difference that this makes. And makes me wonder how this actually progresses, because we don't know how steep the differences are. Might be that we go into 122 and every hero has like, every enemy has like 100 speed more, and 10 times the life we saw at 121. So that might be the case. We shouldn't really judge the game mode yet on the difference between 120 and 121. So seeing the difference tomorrow will surely be quite interesting. So I will check it out, and if there is something interesting in the coming days regarding the Ramskate, then I will keep you notified and will tell you about it and tell you the best strats that you can use to get forward in there. Now let's go over again into the game. Actually, the Age added some more functions, and one of those, we cannot smash, this is bad. They changed the smash function. The smash function can now be instant, actually. And what you need for that are 3 perfect clears where you did not get defeated from one side to the other, or I think for the whole area. We have to see. So the features in the game, I think this was long overdue. Like having 4-hour smashes is really absolutely annoying. What we don't actually know is if those new smashes consider the mysterious caverns and take those. I would expect them not to, and this would actually make them rather worthless. So kind of have to see how that turns out. But it is kind of a problem with the other smashes they added as well. They added 3 new things to the Idolmaster: Void Arc, Void Vortex, and Ramskate. And the Void Vortex function is okay. It claims the area smash rewards. That means the screen that usually pops up if you open Void Vortex the first time for the season, the short 3-day seasons that Void Vortex has, always gives you the smash. So if you have it cleared, this will actually make it that you no longer have to click at Void Vortex at all, which is nice because you won't miss any loot if you have this checked. So that's great. But that doesn't go for Ramskate and Void Arc, because Ramskate will just do the normal smash, which is very annoying and very bad, and will definitely leave out the mysterious caverns. And you should take the mysterious caverns. That's like 10,000 COD every day, and you just can't miss out on that. That's 300,000 a month, over 3.5 million in a year. So nearly 1 Transcendence hero every year that you get from those mysterious caverns if you grind them every day and get them every day. So missing out on those because you were too lazy and put this into the Idolmaster is really not something that you should do, because it will really hinder your game progress. So I recommend you ignore this smash function, set it to no, and wait for them to improve it, basically. The other thing is Void Arc. Here they use the smash function as well that was in game already. And this smash function that is in game is actually really bad. It is really bad, it is stupid, and it is, I don't know if it's bug or if it's just plain stupidity the way it is designed. Basically you click on the button smash and it will automatically explore planets and dispatch heroes. This is alright, it always uses the heroes with the highest imprint, so the heroes that are best for you, which is good. Smash will stop when there are 15 planets under exploration or 3 unexplored planets. And these 3 unexplored planets can become a huge problem. Because the way this works is, let's say I don't have a mineral collector and I click on this node. Then the game would tell me, yeah, you can set a hero in there because you need a mineral collector. This smash function actually goes for those nodes. And it doesn't care if you have mineral collectors or not. So once it opens 3 of those, it can't progress anymore and won't set any more planets. And if you just have 4 planets set at this point, well, that's your problem then. So it is not reliable that it actually sets 15 planets every time you click on the smash button. And if you don't come into this window, you have no way of knowing. So like if you put it into the Idle Master and think like, yeah, Void Arc will basically do itself that way. Yeah, it really won't. It really won't. And so this feature will not help you that much. And I have sometimes noticed that the smash function doesn't even set 15 planets, even if it could. I had to use it at some points. I had to use it twice for it to set 15 planets. So sadly, this smash function is unreliable at best, and if it is unreliable, we can't use it for Idle Master, because if we lose out on resources there, it will be quite bad for the progress. You might miss out on cores, and this is of course something that we can't allow ourselves to do if we want to progress our accounts in the optimal way. So with that, guys, I want to end the video. Let me know what you think of the new functions. What do you think about Ramskate and the smash functions? And we will see us in the next video. Bye.